Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading, and today is July 15th, 2025, and today is Tuesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, Bitcoin fades, which means that it retraces after making all-time record highs. It creates an opportunity on the downside. Now, major economic events today that are interrelated. It's 2:30 South African time from Canada and the United States. We have a very important core price index, CPI number coming out. That's an inflation report, and major corporate quarterly earning reports for JP Morgan. That includes Wells Fargo, includes BlackRock, and Citibank, all major financial institutions that are all interrelated. Now, looking at the market, starting out with the Forex symbols, the US dollar advances versus the British pound and the Japanese yen. Towards the other majors, didn't really advance, so that's super important. Now, looking at the indices, the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ hovering at their all-time record highs, just shy of it. Now, looking at commodities, oil sells off, and looking at stocks unchanged. Now, looking at Bitcoin, it did retrace and give us that opportunity to catch it on the next fly. So let's take a look at markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So we're starting out with the British pound, and yes, we dipped below our supportish level. We're at 134.42. Now, I'm going to kind of zoom out for a second. I'm going to take a look at a 4-hour chart. Now, we are at supportish area. We're still at supportish area. We didn't breach it, but we did slide further from yesterday, okay? So that's super important. And we will or maybe get a bounce here, okay? And on the flip side, if we look at the Japanese yen, it did continue weakening versus the dollar as it's gone higher, and that's the top of the range. Both of them are in major ranges. Now, if we look at the euro, it's been very strong versus the dollar, so it hasn't really retraced. Now, I haven't done this in a long time, but I'm going to just cover it just because it's in front of me right now. We're looking at the Turkish lira hitting 40. Now, we mentioned this when it hit 20, when it hit 30, and now it finally hit 40. This is major. This is really major stuff as it continues to devalue versus the US dollar. And Turkey is in really a very critical point in their market space because, you know, the head of Turkey is not really changing, and it's become like this stagnant. And their economy is really in shambles right here. And this is really it's an opportunity for people like us to trade it and short it, but at the same time, it's really just devastating for the Turkish economy. Now, looking at commodities, oil sells off back to 66, 68. It's still a choppy market. I'm covering it just because it's coverable, right? But it's still a very choppy market. Now, if we break 66, then it gets a little bit more interesting. Maybe we'll get to the low 60-ish level if that does happen. Now, I'm going to jump into the U.S. markets, right? Because we're going to look at the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is trading on its highs, okay? Just shy. It's at 22,960. Its highs is 2290-ish level. So we're about 30 points from our all-time record highs. If you look at it daily, you could see that much clearer. It's on its dead highs. Now, today's going to be a very definitive day for the NASDAQ, okay? We may come out with some good earning reports in terms of CPI, and the market might like it and push even higher. Now, the Dow Jones also trading on its close to its highs, okay? 444, 480, just about 400 to 500 points off of its record highs, okay? And if you look at the bank stocks, let's take a look. JP Morgan, it inched higher here, okay? But it is setting itself up as a right wedge formation, okay? If you look at my hand right here, I can't draw it, unfortunately, on the chart, but that is where we're at right now. And this may be a point where we either break out to the upside or the downside. It needs to be actually broken down and to see how that's actually going to unfold. So keep that in mind today. Tesla did gain 1% yesterday as it's hovering near that 30-day moving average. Now, today we have Citibank, we have Wells Fargo coming out with their quarterly earning reports. So that's all very important. Now, I will pay attention to that. It's before the market opens, so it gives you that opportunity to trade it throughout the day. Now, looking at the other stocks, really traded unchanged. I mean, yeah, they were on their highs. Okay, maybe get $1. You know, Microsoft increased by $1. That's not big deal. Okay, if we look at Facebook, it traded in a very tight range. Okay, the markets are just waiting. They're pausing to get a confirmation about up, down. Just give me one answer, right? Yes, no. Okay, kind of like giving you some sort of closure as which way it's going to go. Now, looking at Bitcoin, it did retrace significantly. Okay, from 123 down to 16. Now this is to be anticipated. Anytime you have like a spike, okay, there's an opportunity to play the other side of it, the fade of it, okay, because it's not sustainable sometimes. And this is good because it kind of tests whether or not this breakout is actually sustainable or was it just a spike, okay? We want to see that it's holding itself. And because we're trading cryptocurrencies, they're not going to be trading with as much character, which means that they're not going to be trading with solitude, meaning they're going to be whiplashing you until they decide which way they're going to go and which way they want to go. And those ones that are pushing it higher are the ones that, you know, ultimately will know where it's going. Okay, there might be sellers here. Okay, there might be more sellers here than buyers, and just because it went up and made new record highs doesn't mean anything. Okay, you like to see sustainability. You like to see things, you know, over time. Just these type of charts actually scare me. Yes, they give you opportunities, but they scare me because it's not gradual. It's not something that's, you know, money being poured in and money being poured out, but altogether it's more money in than money out. It's money in, money out, money in, money out. That's very hard to trade when it comes to those type of situations. This is Fed Razak. I wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.
My advice, this is the best time to trade.